Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rebecca Travers. I am the Event and Sponsor Manager for Master Electricians, and I have with me today Amelia Rae from TKR Electrical, based in Palmerston North. TKR's been around almost 2 years now, and she's recently employed 2 new people, so it's a company of 3 people. So thank you very much for joining us today, Amelia. To start off with, can you tell me a little bit about what the last couple of weeks have looked like for you? Have there been positives and negatives to the whole lockdown?
Yeah, probably more positives than negatives. Obviously, the first week was a little bit hard, quite hard to get my head around the fact that the business just had to completely stop and that we were going into a forced lockdown. But it has given me a big chance to work on the business instead of just in it. I normally do all my admin at night, so it's nice to sort of have a full day to sit down and really dig into the little things that normally take a back seat. So yeah, I've tried to stay positive about the whole situation. Yeah. It's a strange time.
It is, absolutely. Yeah. So what has been the biggest challenge that you've faced?
I think it's been having to be so adaptable so quickly and trying to find things that we can actually do. So we sort of sat down, came up with a list of things that we could do that didn't involve being out on the tools, and we've just sort of started to tackle them bit by bit.
Oh, that sounds like another positive, so that's really good. So did you end up applying for the wage subsidy, and what was the process like for you?
I did apply for it, yep, quite early on, within a couple of days from the lockdown starting, and it was probably the easiest process I've ever had to go through. So there was just one form with some really, really basic questions. I was really lucky. My subsidy came through in about 3 days, and so far that's been it. So yeah, very easy and very helpful, just a bit more reassuring, and it really sort of reinforced the fact that we're all going through it together, and it's not just me.
So you talked a little bit about being able to get stuck into some of those things that would normally be on a back seat. Tell me, what does working from home mean for your business?
Okay, so obviously it's very little chargeable hours. We have had a couple of essential jobs come in, so that's been nice. But apart from that, we've got a software program that we use. So we have been watching tutorials and getting up to speed with that, and learning how to just use it a bit more efficiently for us, and doing a few as a team, doing some demo runs and practicing. We have been doing some online training modules and getting a couple of certificates out the way. So just really upskilling all of us as a team, getting some extra health and safety things put into place, and vehicle checklists, and just all the sort of the paper trails to everything, just refining them a bit more and making them a bit more user friendly, and then taking the time to just practice and get a bit more confident with some systems that we use.
Oh, awesome. So you talked about software program and doing some training around that. What tech do you use to keep on top of your business needs?
Okay, so one of the main software programs we use is Burgess, and that's our job management system. So that keeps everything in one place. So that's that's our biggest day-to-day tech that we do use. So that's what we've been doing training modules on, and demo runs on that, just to be a bit more user friendly and a bit more familiar with it. It's got like favorites folders where we can assign materials and stuff to the job. So just getting the feedback from the team into how I can make it as user friendly as possible for them out on the jobs. We also have been doing a couple of training modules with the likes of Simics and Schneider, just to get up to date and a bit more confident with the products we use. Just so if customers do have questions or anything of that, all of the team has a bit of a background knowledge to sort of reinforce themselves out on site, just if they get those tricky questions.
That's a really good idea. So how are you keeping in touch with your employees?
So I am ringing them both 1 to 2 times a week, just to check in and make sure they're okay, and just offer a little bit of support from a distance, but just to check in and make sure there's nothing I can do. And then I am emailing them as far as the work and the training module side go. So keeping in touch a couple of ways.
What about your clients? You've probably had to put some projects on hold with the whole lockdown process. Are you keeping in touch with your clients over this time?
Yes, so when in the first initial couple of days of lockdown, I rang everybody that had jobs booked in or jobs scheduled in that we were meant to go to. So I gave them all a call. Obviously, they were all very understanding of the situation, being forced into lockdown themselves. So very understanding. I haven't got back in touch with anybody as of yet. I'm just sort of, I'll probably give it until halfway through next week and I'll start making phone contact again with people just to start at looking at rebooking stuff in. But until we have a date or sort of know for sure when we're allowed to go back, I'll leave it as long as I can before sort of booking stuff in so I don't have to reschedule. But yeah, mainly phone at the moment.
Yeah. So what about with all of this work that you've been doing on the business, have you got any plans, anything that you're planning at the moment for coming out the other side of this? We obviously will go into level 3, hopefully sooner rather than later. But what do you think you need to hit the ground running again once we're able to get out there a little bit more freely?
Obviously, health and safety is going to have a big thing to do with it and how we are protecting ourselves and the team from customers. So we've put certain policies and procedures in place for that, and our hygiene practices as well. We are also we come out with a couple of ideas in the background just about marketing and specials. Obviously it's coming into winter and we've got heating and stuff like that that's going to come in. So just trying to do all of that communication with other local businesses and people in the community, just to sort of, like you said, hit the ground running. Just get a couple of things sorted in the background.
Cool. Finally, last question for you is, what is something that you have been grateful for or that has made you laugh over the last couple of weeks?
A little thing I guess that's made me laugh is one of my old supervisors. He used to always say to me that only constant is change, and I used to always sort of like struggle to get my head around that when I thought I was booked in for a job and then he would change it on me. So I guess that has just really come back. That the only constant is change and you have to learn to be adaptable and make the best of any situation. But I'm really grateful for this time, just to reconnect as a family, to take a bit of time. My biggest thing I'm coming out of this with is just a chance to rest and reset, and it's not often that we're given this opportunity to sort of put everything on stop and just actually catch up with our lives. Like life's just so busy. It's actually been really, really nice, and I am grateful in a whole, apart from obviously the people getting sick, but just a chance to rest and reset. I'm actually grateful for that.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Amelia. It's been wonderful to have you, and we'll have some more interviews coming up with other members from across the country. Stay tuned for those.